Hello, this is Lucy Fox from Lucy Fox Arts. Welcome to the Fox Den. Today, let's talk pencil cases. As you can see, my hand's still acting up. The arthritis is still flaring. Carpal tunnel syndrome is wild lately, so I still cannot color. So I decided I was going to organize my studio, and doing that, I thought, well, why not show them my pencil cases? I'm organizing that too. So, my least favorite one is this. When I can, I purchase pencils that already come in a case, mainly because usually that means the case is cheaper. Like you can get like $5, $8 more and get them in a case. So I thought, hey, this is the 50 set of metallic. And I'm not a fan of metallic pencils, but I purchased the 180 set of the Kalour pencils, the black barrel ones, and a few of them are metallic, and I love them. First, they're not scratchy, they are not weird with not properly mixed pigments, which is usually what happened with metallics. And these are not. In fact, they look like they had glitter on them. And I was like, wow, I want more of these. So when I saw this set, I figured, well, maybe they are all like that too. All glittery goodness. And yes, they are, at least most of them. And then when I saw them on the case, I was like, I prefer things in cases, so I don't have to go look for one that fits, stuff like that. Let's get it. Well, I like them so much, these pencils, that I wish I had gotten this 72 set, but there are no 72 sets on the case. That's why I got the 50. And I did not love this case, and I think you can see why already. First, if they were just like this, I like cases that open like a book. But then we got these. And don't get me wrong, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is neat. I like it. Because this folds, you have another Velcro here. And then you can attach the Velcro right here. And it will open like this. So it is neat. I agree. It's cool. But the thing is, I don't have that much desk space. I mean, if I do this, I have nowhere to put my book. Maybe I could put it on top of my printer, but then I cannot use the scanner. For example, when I'm recording, there is no scanning in this house because my stand to record is on top of the printer. I have to set up the whole thing every time I'm going to record. So it is nice. It's not bad. I found it really pretty. I really like gray cases. I think they are my favorites. Even more than the black ones. I like the gray ones the best. So it's not that the case is bad. It's that to me, they take up a lot of real estate. This is this mat. It's an A3 size mat. You see, it occupies the entire space of an A3 sheet. So this is definitely my least favorite. I'm seriously considering, after I use these up or use most of them up, I'm considering upgrading to the 72 set and then getting them in a box if I can find them. I prefer getting them in box than in tins, because tins are beautiful, but they occupy so much space. And then I have to find a place to store them, and this is the running theme of this entire video. I have limited real estate. When I say I have a Fox Den, I mean it, because it's a little tiny corner of my living room. And I can't really occupy that much space. Not only on my desk, mainly on the desk, but also in terms of storage. And the larger the case, the harder it is to storage. There's only one exception, or two exceptions to that, and I will show you them in a moment, in which I chose the biggest case I could find. But mostly, if I can fit the same amount of pencils in a smaller case, I will. The next one of my least favorite is this one. This is the Kalour Watercolor Pencil Set. It is the same pencil set that comes in the teal bluish tin, and I think it has a turtle on top. In fact, I quite like those pencils. And I have the tin as well. It was like a double gift. I had purchased these for myself, and someone gave me the tin, not knowing I had purchased these. but they are practical. Don't get me wrong. They are really sturdy. I like them, but I don't like the system. For example, look, this is like a case, like a suitcase, right? It's like you open the suitcase and it's inside all of the pencils. But then how do you open? Well, you don't. First of all, it's really open, and I'm not sure that would be so protective, but it's okay. I mean, it came in a really sturdy box, protected with a lot of foam. There were no issues in that regard, but I'll show you what my issue with this is. They are loose, so, which is okay. It's not that much of a problem. But when I mean loose, is not this. This is what I mean. And you see right now. See? This is what I mean. It's annoying that I don't know if it was just a production issue. I'm not sure. There's even a pencil here, see? Which is black, by the way. The first and the last of each layer falls here and here. And even though I like Yover Stationery, which is the manufacturer of Kalour, they don't have the best customer service. I mean, if they would say, oh, we will send another one of these inserts and then you can try it on and to make sure that it's not going to slide off, because it's just this one insert. I still need to figure out a way to make them not slide. I don't know. But because the other ones, they don't slide. They work just fine. But this one doesn't, and it's so frustrating. So, as in this one, I like this case for carrying. If you want to go travel and stuff, this is really practical, and it's really sturdy as well. But with those few slots that pencils come loose, and the fact that this is not completely enclosed, that it's open, I don't feel so secure that these will not fall or slide off or something like that. The witch is out there. But anyway, this is why I don't like this case. It's one of my least favorites. Also, and then there's a very personal thing. I prefer more compact footprint. This is 120 pencils, right? Let me see if I find my other ones. This is 120 pencils. And let me put them right next to it so you can see it. Or maybe not. You cannot see it still. Can you see this? It's not by much, but there is around 2 fingers. It's about half an inch, I think, of difference. Yeah, see? And it's not just height-wise, it's length-wise. You see, there's a little bit of space here as well. And I know it doesn't look like much, and it's really not much. But when you are pressed for space, every half an inch counts. So I would give preference to this, for example, over this. And I would give preference to these over this, because both of them fit 120 pencils. And you see, can you see this? It's considerably smaller. This is another inch. Inch? Yes, it's another inch. Yeah, it's actually 1 inch, precisely 1 inch. I'm measuring by these because these are inch. And this is 1 inch, so it's basically 2 inches apart from the black one that I just showed you. And this is just length widthwise. Now lengthwise, there's also like half an inch here. And in terms of thickness, let me see if I can show you this way. They are the same. So technically they shouldn't be that much different, but they are, you see. And this has lots of loose space on top of it, see? It's not like super tight. So you can fit the same amount of pencils in a smaller footprint. And this is my main concern. The smaller the footprint, the better. And this is not like a cheap, this is a cheap case, but it's not like low quality. Like it's really hard in here. So they are protected. And I'll come back to these in a moment. Going back to the suitcase style, my current favorite is this one. And it says OBOS color pencil. I have no idea if it's the same OBOS from the color pencil brand that we can find in Temu and other Shopify marketplaces, stuff like that. I think AliExpress and Amazon as well. I don't know if it's the same. All I know, this is extremely affordable. I think I paid like $5, $5 for this case. This case fits 120 pencils. Right now it's housing 72. It's my Brute Wonder Macaron. I even chose this pastel-y color. They only come in this pastel-y pink and in black, which is fine by me. I just wish they had a gray because I prefer gray ones, but because this is pastel-y, I actually just hit my eyes on it and I know that's the pastel macaron color pencils that are in here. And this is my current favorite. There is a major flaw, but it's my current favorite. Because it is the most compact one. And I mean, it is even more compact than the one I just showed you, full of printing patterns. And there are two things I don't like, but everything else I love. I love the footprint. Let me get the other one. This is one of the most compact ones. This is definitely the cheapest case that you can find. Let me see if it's on camera. It is. Now, let me align it correctly. There is a brand thing here. Chen Yu. I have no idea if this is just the manufacturer. This is the brand. I don't know. But look, this is 120 pencils and is also smaller by another ½ inch from in the width and lengthwise as well, you know. Let's see if it's aligned. This is like a ½ inch smaller. And it's great. Really, in my opinion, this is the ideal size. Now, and the fact that they have them on simple black is really, really great in my opinion. Things I don't like about this case. I really wish that what I like about this case is there is a massive Velcro here. So I can arrange them, and if I want to pull out a certain amount of colors, I can just pull them out like this. And then just stick them back on. And they're firm. I can lift by the little insert and they will not fall off. So they're really firm. I like that about them. What I don't like is not much of an issue in this case in particular, but I will show you where my Prismacolors, my older Prismacolor are. and you will see what I mean. I don't like the fact that the zipper is on top of the case. If you see this one, I like this one better on that regard. The zipper is in the middle. So to access the pencils inside is actually easier. And I'll show you this on my Prismacolor case so you will see exactly what I mean. This is 150, is their version of 150 set. It is my favorite case for 150 because of the small footprint. And it is really stuffed, but it's not because of the pencils themselves. It's because I put a kneaded eraser and other stuff inside. So that's on me. But you see, I like my favorite type of case that opens like a book. Like if I have a cover, and like I said, I have a blender and my kneaded eraser here and stuff like that. And I like that they flip like they're pages in a book, because this allows for a really small footprint. I can put my color pencils here and then put a book here and color, and I'll be properly using my desk space. Now, the issue with this case is this. Up until here, it's fine, right? But then when it gets deeper, let me flip it a little bit so you can see. Once it gets deeper into here, up until here, it's tolerable. But then here, it's impossible to get the pencils. And yes, of course, it's Velcro. I can pull the sleeve off. But can you see this? I left the neons there because I rarely ever use neons and metallics. So I left them there because I would probably have to pull them out. And like I said, it's a strong Velcro. I'm lifting by the last sleeve and they don't fall. So it's a really strong Velcro. So it's not easy to pull in and out. It's practical to be able to, but it's not super easy to do. And they definitely have their issues for not being able to reach this bottom part. But I like this for other than the small footprint, which is my favorite part of this. What I like is on the bottom and on the cover, there are no elastics. So there are no pencils that will be directly on the bottom. And no pencils, even though in the bottom it would not bother me too much, it would bother me more if it were on the cover. Because some cases, the pencils are on the cover as well. And that would definitely be a little bit bothersome. I like the fact that it has a zippered space. So I can carry a sharpener, I can carry stuff like this. And it's flexible enough that I can actually stuff this with my accessories and it will work just fine. I like these. The handle is really sturdy. Not all of the ones the ones I have now, they're all sturdy, but I already had cases where the handle were not that sturdy, and I really like the handle. They're really easy to carry around. Just, you just grab them and go. This is the best portable compact case. And I have a trolley cart that it has kind of baskets inside. It's not like little shelves or trays like most carts. It is a basket in the sense that one of the side has like a mouth opening and the back is mostly covered, and so are the sides. And in the mouth opening, this fits perfectly, so I can just slide them in and out really easily. This is one of the reasons I like this case so much, because it fits perfectly on my trolley. Also, I can fit lots of those, like 4 of these. 3 or 4 depending on how many inserts it has. Hi, Lucy from the future here. I thought it was best if you could see it by yourself what I meant when I say that one case fits better in my trolley than the other. And as you can see, I am putting my cases away now, and the blue one with multi-zippers fits okay, but it's a bit snug. Evazar's, which is the same as Castell Art's, barely fits. I need to use a lot of strength to make it fit. And the OBOS one just fits more easily. And so does the 120 generic one. Okay, back to the video now. Because they have 72, I think 48, 72, 120, 150, and 200 of these. I just wish the 200 was exactly like this one, but it's the only one that is different. I'll show you in a moment. This is my favorite case right now. First, it's discreet, no weird patterns. It's easy, it doesn't consume a lot of space or a lot of the cost with a ton of zippers in them. So this is definitely my favorite case. I'm going to show you their 200 version. This is their 200 version. It's very similar to the suitcase of the Kalour 120 watercolor pencils. By the way, if you want the Kalour 120 watercolor pencils, they have a stag or a deer on top. It's a purple stag and the horns are made of flowers, purple flowers, something like that. It's really pretty. I really liked it. And if I didn't have that little issue, in fact, Karen from Zucchini Kitty, she did a review on the Kalour watercolor pencils on that version, the suitcase version. And it's actually what made me buy it. And I don't regret it because it's a really good case. And I don't think she had the issue with the elastics. So I think I just got a dud. Sorry for the noise, guys. But these Velcros are really strong. So, it's similar to that one that you open like a suitcase. And inside, you have the pencils. But these don't come out. And I like this about them. And I will show you in a minute. There are Velcros on the sides. And they open completely. So this is good. Kind of. They open like a book. Just the same. Okay. So this is the top part. My splinter. I'm getting glued to the thingy here. So these, you open them, right? You open the sides, and then you can open these. In fact, what you can do, which is what I was doing at first, I flip it, and then the side Velcro will attach here. And this will allow for a smaller footprint while you are coloring, which something similar can be done here. So the footprint is not too big. I mean, there's definitely bigger out there. The 50 metallic set is definitely larger in footprint, and this fits a whole lot more, 4 times more. The thing is, the cover is not as sturdy. The one on the Kalour watercolor set is definitely sturdier. This is somewhat flimsy, which is not a problem. I don't think it would damage the pencils in any way. It's sturdy enough not to let the pencils get damaged or fall off. And you can flip them like a book the way I like it. But the footprint is much larger than the other one, really. And I wish they had done the same layout, just like half an inch larger, for example. For example, this one, the handle is on the bottom or on the top, right? And when you open, the pencils are vertical. So if you open like a book, like this was the cover and these are the inserts or the leaves, the pencils are vertical in relation to how you open them. And unfortunately, this one is not. They are all horizontal. And it's not necessarily a problem, but I prefer them to be stored vertically, mainly because, and I think I can show you in my Prismacolor one, because of my color swatches. And I don't know if that's going to make any sense, but hopefully it will. I arrange them in what I perceive to be a color order, so I would start like this. And when I turn, right, and then you go to warmer yellows, reds, burgundies, pinks, pinky beiges, all the way to darker purples, and then purples, bluish purples, and so on, right? So I make them like this. If they are horizontal, I have to change the order I'm making them. And I mean when I'm typing in the computer. So they don't go in a single order and I just cut them into little stripes. They go into one order, like yellow to reds, for example, right? Yellow, orange, red, and then cool red, pinks, purples. And then the next one would start down here as then purples, purplish blues, and cooler blues, and so on. So I would have to keep doing this, which is fine, but it's easier the other way, to me. So this is a personal thing. So this one, I don't think I would buy it again. Oh, there I am, gluing myself again. So I don't think I would purchase this one again. Okay. It's a good one, but it's definitely not as practical as the other ones. Now this is my second favorite. My Harmonious and Pastel Tints from Castle Arts are in this one just like this one. And this is my Starjoy Golds. And what I love about this, it is compact. The zipper is right in the middle. What I don't love, I don't like the weird printing. Each time I buy it's a different print, but I don't like them. I don't care so much for these. I think this was a misprint for some brand that ordered, like, I don't know, Kalour, CC File, Brutfun, or whatever. And something went wrong because it's written 120 colores differences. I don't know, it looks like they mixed up Spanish and English or something. It looks like a misprint, but honestly, I don't care. I just like that the number is right here, so I know exactly how many pencils I can fit. And what I love about it is exactly the fact that they act like a book, just like the other one. And there's a tiny detail as well, that these, they come all the way to the border straight. And the ones from OBOS, the pink and black ones, I'll show you again. Can you see this? They taper down here, which most of the time is okay for the smaller version, but the larger version has one extra. With the 150 pencils has one extra slot here, and if the pencil is full length, it will, can you see here, almost goes over the top, right? But if it was right here, it would definitely go over the top. So this is a bit of an issue to me. And in this case, this does not happen because they're all flat completely on the rim of the pages. What I don't like so much is, well, like I said, the print and the fact that the first page of pencils or the first layer of pencil is in the case, in the cover, which I don't love, really don't love that. And the last one is on the bottom. The bottom does not bother me so much because it's just the bottom, but because these, you keep opening like this all the time, every time you zip and unzip, I don't know, I don't love the fact that this part has pencils too. I really don't. I would have preferred if they had put an extra insert here, and then this part will be empty, no slots, no elastic, nothing. But that's just me. It might not bother everyone. And the fact that they're so cheap. I think I paid $489 US dollars for these. I'm converting with the currency in my head, okay? I didn't pay them in dollars. I paid in my local currency. But converting would be like $489, $479. So it's really, really cheap and it's really good. Also, there's a handle here, pretty sturdy. This handle is not as sturdy as the one from the OBOS brand. But I like this enough, especially because I only buy them when first of all, it's rare to find them. And when I find them, they usually are for ridiculously cheap prices, like $7, $4. The last one I purchased is not this one. It was one that had a bunch of hearts in them, and I paid $4.89. These ones I paid $7, and it was a set of 2, so it was like $14 for 2. It was really good. Also free shipping. So Okay, next. This is my second favorite. My favorite is the smaller version of OBOS. This, so as you can see, each case has things I like and things I don't like. This aesthetically is my favorite case. It's like linen. It's not really linen, it's a canvas type of material, but it's like linen because of the way that the color was weaved. And I love this kind of pattern. This is Evazar London. I don't think you can find them anymore. I don't think you can find them, unfortunately. But if you have Evazar London, or if you want to try them, they typically used to come with 130 pencils. Castle Arts Gold has the exact same formula, the same case, even though it's a black one, and it has 120 pencils. Of course, that the color selection is not the same. I like the Evazar color selection much better. But these are unfortunately no longer available. You can still find this on Alibaba if you get in touch with the factory that manufactured Evazar London's pencils. They have a few pencils, a few of these sets with the case still in stock, but it was I think it was a bit of a, I don't know if there was something, it was something wrong with the production of them. Mine, it actually has the same problem, and it's not that much of a problem, but it comes with two pencils missing, and they are completely transparent that two colors are missing when you purchase them directly from them. I did purchase directly from Yover Stationery, which is the factory that manufactures Castle Arts, Kalour, Rootfuner. They manufacture Norden and Lindenberg, or Norberg and Linden, something like that. I think they even manufacture German Academy pencils, if I'm not mistaken. Now, aesthetically, I love it. I think it's a bit too thick. And what I mean is this. I mean, can you see how thick it is? You can fit 4 of my fingers. It will be like, how much is for my finger in inches? It's 2 inches. So it's 2 inches thicker than this one. And this has 120 pencil. This has 150. So more pencil, less footprint for the OBOS. This one fits less pencils, larger footprint. And like I said, I don't particularly love when they are horizontal like this. It's okay that they are, but I really prefer when they are not. And like I said, I don't mind that there are on the bottom, that there are some pencils on the bottom. It's very well cushioned. I like that very much. And I know that it's thick like this precisely because the pencils are laid down horizontally. But on the cover, there is none. So that I like very much. So I really like this case. It's mostly compact. It's just a bit chunkier than I found others to be. The one that carries my Starjoy pencil is similar. See? Again, 2 inches apart. In difference of size, I mean. So I really wish it was just a little thinner or slimmer. The Castle Arts Gold version is black and is a bit thicker in depth because it comes with, I think, a bunch of sketch pads and stuff like that, which they're fine by me, but I don't mind much. I mean, I love paper, but if I'm getting a case and a pencil in a case, I'm happy if the pencils are intact and they're in the case that they were supposed to come in. So this is beautiful. Really, is one of my favorites aesthetically speaking. I just wish it was a tad bit slimmer. And I say that because it would fit better in my trolley. So it might not be an issue at all if your storage system is different. So it's all really a really picky and personal thing, this one. Okay, now these, to me, I have the same issue with the fitting. Yeah, they are a bit slimmer, about an inch slimmer than, yeah, they're about an inch slimmer than the gray one. So that is good, but I don't love the fact, again, they're laid horizontally, which, nah. But what bothers me is way too many zippers. Okay, you don't have to keep opening zipper and zipper and zipper. After I started using these type of cases like this, that only have one zipper in the middle, it's so much more practical. And I know it looks like a minor thing. It is a minor thing. But if there is a different option, why not go for the different option? The other issue I've got is these cost around 20 something dollars. And I can pay as little as 4, but okay, let's go for the regular retail price of these. The MSRP is like 10 bucks. So I can buy a case that is very similar, a little more practical, slimmer, for half the price. And yes, oh, this is pleather. I have one that isn't pleather. It's nylon, just like the other one. So it really is not about the materials, okay? And yes, they fit beautifully. I use this one in particular. I wrote down Inktense here because I store my Inktense. I buy my Inktense. I had a 12 set of Inktense, the little tin, and then I bought everything else open stock, okay? And I don't have everything. In fact, I have very little compared to the full amount of Inktense that exist. I think I have 38, and they are 100 of them, I think. I have also my Albrecht Dürer here temporarily because I only own 36 Albrecht Dürer, so I don't own too many of them. So right now they're condensed in this single case, but eventually I think that I will probably have to split them up or get a bigger case, which I always try to avoid, but sometimes is inevitable. So I have one just the same. I just want to check something, but I think I'm not wrong here. No, they are exactly the same in size. This one, however, is nylon, and the reason I have so many odd colors and patterns is I don't choose them. Usually you find a listing of those, and they're like, I don't know, 10 colors, 10 stamps or patterns to choose from. I select each one to see which one is the cheapest because they do vary by pattern and color and stuff. So I choose the cheapest because I don't want to spend my money on cases any more than necessary. It's part of the reason why I like the OBOS and this generic weird printed ones so much. I like them because they are incredibly cheap for what they are, and they deliver the same. These are my Artex pencils. So, and don't get me wrong, I love these cases. I like the fact, for example, this is technically 120, but Artex has 126 pencils. Because they have these extra for accessories, I was able to fit my pencils, all of them, into this case. So none of them are left behind, so to speak. And to me, that's plenty, Now, this is one of my favorites, except for one thing, which is the first thing we will cover, which is exactly this. Holographics. Sorry for the glare, guys. I'll put my hand here. Look, I prefer if all of my cases were either gray or black or navy blue or a very neutral color, like maybe dark brown or light brown or khaki. I don't know, something really neutral. I would have preferred if all of them were neutral. But like I said, I don't usually choose color, I choose price. Because color is the least important thing when it comes to the functionality of the product, right? It really doesn't matter if it's red, green, purple. But anyway, like I said, this is the only situation that I chose the biggest case I could find. I like to keep my professional pencils all in one place. Soon that will have to change, and I don't know what I'm going to do then, how I'm going to organize. Because so far they've been fitting here perfectly, but Derwent just launched their expanded drawing pencil collection, and that's 72 pencils, and they will not fit in here anymore. So, look, what I do, like I said, I know it's large, but it stays on my trolley. It doesn't leave my trolley even when it's open. I separated by color order and by hardness. So my hard pencils start on this side. For example, polychromos and Holbeins in pro colors. And I know Holbein is not exactly hard, but in my opinion, none of them are hard. They are harder if you compare them to wax-based pencils, but they are mostly oil-based, even though pro color is actually wax-based, but is a very hard pencil. So this is neither here nor there. In my order is polychromos alongside pro colors and some Holbeins. Like I said once, I only had like 8 Holbeins, so they're just scattered around. And I organize them by color order. What I do is I paint on a sticker the color and I write it down a bit larger because I think these are really hard to read and eventually I will sharpen them all the way through anyway. So I paint a sticker to see the accurate color and I write it down the name. Also the brand, the number, all the information I need when I need to repurchase the pencil. Anyway, this is how I do it, right? And then from my polychromos and pro colors mostly, it goes to my Derwent Lightfast. Can you see them right here? Derwent Lightfast. I have a few luminance as well, it's like 4 or 5 luminance pencils, and they're all scattered here. They feel perfect and they fit really well and blend perfectly with Derwent Lightfast. So the very few luminances I have, like this one right here, they're all mixed up with my Lightfast. This one as well, light cobalt blue. This one is grass, yeah, grass green. And I have raw umber right here. I think those are the only ones that are luminous. Nope. My favorite luminous pencil, in fact, is Perylene Brown, which is this one. Yeah, this one. And after that, from the, as you can see, this, by the way, none of my blacks are here on this order. It ends, the harder pencil ends with the warm grays and cool grays all the way to Payne's Gray. Yeah, all the way to Payne's Gray. And then they go to other cool grays from Lightfast. And then warm grays again to taupe, grayish browns, reddish browns, yellowish browns, and so on. So they're going in the same order, but backwards, right? And then all the way to greens, and then blues, purples, reds, oranges, yellows, cool yellows. And then the cool yellows will, and this is where my Derwent drawing usually starts because this is where my Prismacolor starts. So from hardest to softest, this is middle softness, and then Prismacolor is already soft, so is my Derwent drawing. And then goes to reds, and then pinks, grayish, pinkish colors, all the way to more purple, blues, bluish purples, cool blues, greens, and so on and so forth. And then all of my blacks are here, and whites as well, and I keep a few blenders. This is my Caran d'Ache Flu blender, my mono eraser. I have a Derwent pen here, blender. I have others, but I'm using them in a project, so they're not in here where they should be right now. And all of my Prismacolors that are here are the new one. I was needing a few. I had already a few open stock, but I needed to replenish some others. I always keep at least one pencil already as a backup because I don't have easy access to Prismacolors. They take over a month to get to me. So if I'm running out of a color, you bet I'll run out of the color before it arrives, the replacement. So I usually have spare replacements before they're that near, before their end is near. So what I do is, I had a list of 90 colors that I didn't have backups anymore. And if I purchase 90 colors, it would be the same price of a full set during Amazon Prime and also Blick sale. So I decided to buy a full set. So I removed my older ones and I put them in the little black case because I'm using them separately temporarily. And the new ones, I put them here. So that's why they're not even properly sharpened. They have the factory made stubby points. Okay, we're getting to the end, people. Almost there. This is the other huge case I've owned. I don't typically love cases that have that little, the elastic with 2 or 3 pencils in one elastic in one slot. But I wanted these for my gel pens. I'm not much of a gel pen user despite of this. But then I met the Languo pens, and they are amazing because they're very thin, so I can use them for outlines on the drawings. They had 168 set. I think now it's 177. And so there's one, I think it's the Dopamine 2.0, the set that I do not have. But I have all the others. I also purchased the 1.0 nib. So that's 90 colors. And I bought the shiny, that is 72. So I calculated, and I needed slot for 300, almost 400 pens. This fits 480, technically, because they say 2 gel pens per elastic. I managed to fit 3 in some cases, because I'm stubborn. I do not recommend doing that, but I did it. And I love this case because I love this color. I love turquoise. Teal and purple are my favorite colors, if my thumbnails didn't give it away yet. The colors match, right? I mean, the thicker nibs and, for example, yeah, I'm gonna use this one here. They match in color. So this is the same pen. It's just thin nib and thick nib. So I arranged them in color order, and I matched them to the pens that match color, because they don't match completely because the thicker nib only had 90 pens, right? And also the shiny ones match too. I mean, they can be quite similar. These are the glitter shiny ones. And I matched them as well, so I put them in a similar color order, right? I'm gonna flip them just so you can check, but yeah, that's basically it. What I like about this case is, again, the fact that there's only one zipper. I really wish my other case, the holographic one, had one zipper and everything else was an insert. It would be much easier, and the footprint will be a bit slimmer. Easier to manage, I mean. Okay, let me close these, if I can see what I'm doing. And again, this stays on my tray trolley, so I don't need desk space. I just pull the trolley by my side, and I slide if the desk is here and the trolley is usually here, right? So I just pull them and use them. So they don't consume desk space. That's why I can live with this size of case. Finally, at the end, people, I don't love this case. I really don't love this case, guys. I cannot even recommend this one, unfortunately. It's similar to that one, but instead of the zipper being in the middle, like would be my preferred way, or at least have many zippers for different layers, which is not my preferred way, but it's practical. I mean, it's functional. It has 2 zippers, one in the bottom and one in the top, which I really do not like. And I'll open both ways so you can see what I mean. It gets very janky, and I don't like it. It's wobbly and janky. So, again, I don't love large slot elastics for pencils, only for pens. Because the pens usually, either they stay put, for example, the thicker nib Languo will stay put, even if I had 2 thick ones, or a thick and a thin, and I remove it, they stay put. They don't do this. They don't shrink and consume the space that belong to the other one. And if they are slim ones, they have those little clips on the cap, so they don't go around sliding anywhere either. But I had this one laying around. They have a very, very soft pencil. It's a very affordable pencil compared to other pencils. And they have 3 different collections. They have a kid's version, which is a triangular barrel. They have the hobbyist version, which is this, is called Vibes. And they have the Nocturnal Vibes, which is the one meant to compete with Faber-Castell's Black Edition, or aka Super Soft. They're the same pencil. Still, so this is the Vibes, the hobby version, adult coloring version. This is their Nocturnal Vibes, so the more opaque, that is meant to work on black paper. And their kids version is, now you're gonna see. You see how janky this is? It's on the way. You can't just you're going to grab something and it's on the way all the time. And I already looped my hand around this accidentally when I went to grab something. Next thing I know, I'm lifting the whole thing and making a mess. I don't like this case. I hate this case. As soon as I can, I will change to a different case. And I only didn't yet because I'm working on a review on these pencils. And when I do the review, I'm going to switch them to a different case because, oh Lord, this is annoying. Okay, this is the Nocturna ones. Oh, what? I don't know what I did with the other ones. But anyway, there is a kid's version of these pencils, and I have them. I just have no idea what I did. I actually thought I had put them here. Anyway, I figured that out later. I don't like this case. I don't recommend it. It's an annoying case. There are much better options, and it's not a cheap one either. I think it cost me like $20. It's large, it's bulky, and if it's going to be large, I have a version of these ones that fits the exact same amount as this one. This one technically fits 250 pencils, and the larger version I have of this fits the same. In fact, it fits like 5 more. So honestly, I don't recommend this. That one costs the same and is less janky. And this one is not as thick either. It's really flimsy. I don't know. It bothers me. So, to top it off, just to recap, favorites are these ones. The OBOS and this generic one. And my really large case with individual elastics. I love this case. I actually just purchased one that is navy blue, so no more weird glare and blinding reflections. I know a lot of people would love these holographic stuff. I'm more low-key, that's all. But that's it for today, guys. I wish you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for your company, and see you in the next one. Bye!